and welcome back to Living Abroad. Today we'll talk about whether foreigners over 60 years old are entitled or should they be entitled to a 20% senior discount that is only available for the Filipinos according to the new advisory. So read the advisory, read some comments, and I'll tell you my thoughts. And I took a survey with over 800 votes, people sharing their thoughts if they should be entitled to that discount. Here's what I'm talking about. So this was posted on the Philippines Retirement Authority's Facebook page. Advisory: the Philippines Retirement Authority reminds all foreign retirees that senior citizen benefits and privileges, including the 20% discount and VAT exemptions, are exclusively for Filipino citizens age 60 and above. Misrepresentation or fraudulent use of senior citizen IDs may result in criminal prosecution, cancellation of immigration status, or deportation. Whoa! So not only will they basically fine you or whatever, but they can actually kick you out of the country, which is very significant. Now, before we go into this, obviously, maybe not obvious, but I'm not a senior, right? So I don't know specifically what I'm entitled to in the Philippines, but a lot of people have shared it, and this is very clear. The advisory said if you're not a Filipino citizen, you do not get those benefits. However, there are some caveats and some exceptions perhaps, because a lot of people said, hey, wait a minute, I've been using this for like 3 years and nobody said anything. People offer me like discounts and all this. We'll get into all that. Let's go straight into what some people had to say regarding this advisory. Someone says, so let me get this right. Only Filipinos over 60 are seniors. All foreigners over 60 are not seniors. Guess what? This is called age discrimination. I just wish there's reciprocity so that Filipinos who are over 60 are not treated as seniors when they are traveling, visiting overseas. I remember not so long ago, an over 60 Filipino started pushing through the immigration queue on arrival in another country saying, I'm a senior, you have to let me through first. Unfortunately, she met her match when some younger expat British tourists put her in their place and told them to get back of the line and wait like everyone else. All right, so one thing I want to be clear, I'm not really certain where this discount's coming from and what other benefits there is. So the VAT, if someone's covering that, like if the government is substituting that 20% discount, let's say a business offers a senior 20% discount, and at the end of the month, they actually collect all those discounts provided, give it to the government and get some kind of like money back, then I can see why that might be a problem. However, if a business wants to give you a 20% discount, not caring where you're from, I feel like that's their own prerogative, right? So, I mean, there's nothing to do with the government. So from that perspective, I can see for like taxes or people contributing to like a program over 60 years, it may not be fair for a random person coming in and taking advantage of that. But if the senior discount is supposed to be just for seniors, then I can see why somebody might be like, it doesn't matter if you're a Filipino or a foreigner. Someone else says, wow, this is the first time I'm hearing of this. I have legitimate senior ID for 3 years now. A senior is a senior. Just imagine if all the countries where Filipinos lived and work or retire say senior benefits are only for our citizens. It is not about if I need the discount, it's about quality and fair standards. Imagine the effects of deporting foreigners for asking for a senior discount. If this is true, PRA needs to ensure all retirees and all vendors are aware of this policy. And that's an excellent point, the policy thing. A lot of people, I'm sure, just don't know. Not just the foreigners, but also the store employees and store business owners. They may not know it's only meant for the Filipino people. Now they're offering discounts to whoever because they want to respect seniors. Now they have to maybe face an awkward situation and tell somebody, sorry, we can't give you that discount. One other thing I want to mention that I think is very significant. One of my favorite things about the Philippines has always been how they treat their seniors. Now, you can see this all over the country. The way they, like, obviously communicate, talk to, even like hand gestures. I forgot the name where they put the hand to their forehead. Also, like lines, queues, cinemas, buses, you name it. Like, it's very clear that they actually adore, admire, and respect their elders. So I know personally, I just enjoyed watching that. I can only imagine if I was a senior and living here, I would have probably loved to see that. So this is really a negative, like, I guess, I don't think it's very Filipino. You know what I mean? So it takes away a little bit about that just respect and family value, I think, that everybody kind of felt in the Philippines, right? So I'm sure, I'd love to hear some people who are over 60 and share your comments, share your experiences. What have you noticed? Like, have you been treated better because you're a senior in the Philippines compared to your country back home? And let me know what you think of my perception of what I see when it comes to seniors and Filipinos. I always thought that was kind of admirable. And I hate to see some of that go away just because somebody is a foreigner or not from the Philippines. Another person says, perhaps inform your agents. I was told differently as there were several people that I've talked with who have used authorized PRA agents. Discount isn't a big deal. The misinformation is, as several of us try to avail of the senior discount. That's another thing. Imagine being in a heated discussion with somebody else saying, listen, I've been getting the discount for like a year, and now you tell me I can't get it. So what's going on here? Somebody says I can do it, another place says I cannot do it. I think if this is actually going to be really pursued and be strict with some of these rules, there needs to be a better communication. Not everybody's on Facebook, you know what I mean? So where else can I see this information? Did they tell me when I apply for my whatever card or my residency or at the airport, at the restaurants? The information needs to be very readily available if you're going to deport somebody for trying to get a senior citizen discount. So I've done a poll on my other second channel, Asia Now, where I do daily Philippines content, asking this exact same question, and almost 900 people voted. The question was, should foreigners in the Philippines be entitled to the 20% senior discount? 37% said yes, 38% said no, and 25% said only if they have long-term status. Basically a tie, right, between yes and no, and people saying only if you have a long-term resident status. I'm a bit surprised, to be honest, that nothing is really leaning one way or another. Seems like people are really divided right down the middle. I think it's important to clarify that this may not be necessarily an age thing, rather they're just like a taxation, funding, and just like money thing, right? I don't think it has anything to do with just someone's age and discriminating against that. I could be wrong though, right? So that is today's video. I'm very curious to see what you guys thought of it. I think people fall, because I'm not really in a position to mention, I'm not a Filipino, so I'm not really paying into any program. I'm also not over 60, so I don't really know how it'd feel if I was 20, 30 years from now. So yeah, it's difficult. I could see both sides, to be honest. Like, it's not that I'm trying to like be PC or politically correct or whatever. I just think it's a bad image for such a loving country, right? Filipinos are known to be friendly. If a business wants to give me 20% discount, sure, I'll go ahead and take it. But I think it's also important to be having these guidelines in case somebody wants to make a fraudulent fake ID, like to say they're seniors, because oftentimes you can buy these cards online in Facebook groups and try to get discounts. So I think it's important. Plus, I think it's also important if somebody's going to be like a really negative type of nuisance in a business, always going, complaining. And if somebody knows the law of the business and the foreigner does not know the law, this might be a good reminder. So yeah, leave your thoughts down below regarding today's video. I'd love to hear anything you want to talk about. I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to see like daily short bursts of news about the Philippines, Thailand, other Asian countries, check out my second channel, Asia Now. And in this video, I'll tell you about an American cafe owner arrested for crimes back in the US against a child, elderly man busted for smuggling stuff in his metal stretcher shaped like sausages, Cebu-bound Korean man arrested at Naya for having substances, 3 Chinese pretending to be Filipinos, and a couple of lighter stories in the end to keep everybody sane. Let's begin with a comment from yesterday's video that read, this is from Brian. Good day, mate. You used to show the exchange rate for other popular countries as well. I don't see that anymore. Please rectify. Love your podcast. Originally, I was going to be like, leave me alone. It's a lot of work. But then I'm like, it can't possibly be that much work. But I'm like, I could probably do this. So I made this graphic myself. And by myself, I mean like putting in the prompt for ChatGPT to go ahead and do it. So I hope you like it. Right now, 1 USD equal to almost 11,000 subscribers now. So I've left a link to that channel as well. I'll see you guys in the next one.